Greetings, my excellent friends. It is Monday, November 1st, 2021, here in beautiful, sunny Tokyo, Japan. I am the Hobby Drifter here, back again, and I have had a rough couple of weeks. So, wanted to get back into making videos with this, which is going to be one part toy review, one part Japan retrospective video, and one part me just getting my therapy out through YouTube. So this is a good one. This is the GX-33 Spider-Man and Leopaldon Soul of Chogokin set. I picked this up at Book Off in one of the earlier days of the pandemic, in between states of emergency. Probably overpaid for it. It was sealed when I bought it, but not when I got it home. So, let's just take a look at this thing, shall we? This backdrop you're looking at is Kokura in Kitakyushu, Japan. It's a place I lived about 15 years ago, one of my favorite places in Japan. It's a nice small big city, and it is where I first encountered this figure that I'm about to show you. So, even though I am the Hobby Drifter in Tokyo, what you're looking at is Kitakyushu. Alright, so here's the base form of Leopaldon, and this is meant to invoke the feeling of the original 1978-1979 Chogokin figure. To that end, it is made up of a lot of die-cast metal parts, along with some really nice quality plastic parts, and it has gimmicks that replicate the original toy that many people, had when they were kids. So these are gimmicks like, for example, the crest fires, or it's supposed to fire. I've had it on display in the thing for over a year now, so thankfully it doesn't shoot out as quickly as it used to. When I was go to pose this thing years ago, a year ago, the thing would almost constantly pop out and fly at me. So I'm kind of glad for that. But it also has the firing fists, and the fists have just a little bit of articulation in the wrists here. So yeah, it does keep those action features. It also transforms basically the exact same way as the original 1970s toy, with just a few minor changes. So, like, for example, there is one extra bit where you flip out the connecting port. Like, the leg has this little connector that flipped out. I don't believe that was in the original design, but yeah, it transforms basically the same way. You flip the arms up, and then down, fold the arms in, and this does work even if you've got the fists, like the fists do still fit in there. Flip down the front, pop the legs together, a lot of flipping up, flip up one, it catches in the little groove up on the hip, two, similarly. Actually did practice this before the video. Out come the little fins. Leopard head opens up. Spring-loaded head goes back. And then we flip up the cover here. And you get the Marveler. Of course, named after, or named in honor of, Marvel Comics. And I know this looks kind of, obviously like a robot folded up into what could generously be referred to as a battleship. But this is what it looked like. This is what the thing looked like on TV. This is what the original toy was. This is what it is supposed to look like. Of course, they probably could have, gone in and filled up some of the gaps or what have you, but that would have not been accurate. It would have been, not as faithful. Would have been like with the current, Masterpiece figures with the Transformers line, where it looks better than it ever did, but it's not accurate. The accuracy here, you can pop open the back of the head, and just like on the original TV show, the spider car, the spider machine can dock inside the head, and boom. And the whole thing can be displayed on the included display stand. The display stand has Spider-Man, no hyphen, and Leopaldon written on it. And if you were so inclined, you could display it thusly on the completely included thing, all in one, no extra pieces to buy. And it includes this tiny little Spider-Man, probably smaller around from head, hand to leg than an American quarter. Tiny little guy. Can be posed on the display stand along with the the GP7 Spider Machine. The Spider Machine GP7. Which, a lot of metal, feels very much like a Hot Wheels car. So, the Marveler made an appearance in the Spider-Verse comic series. It's a nice mix of different components. There's die-cast metal, of course. There's some nicely painted plastic. The head is a completely different texture from most of the rest of it. The spider pattern is very nicely printed on here, and it feels very heavy. I don't think that I would basically ever display it in this mode, but it does what it needs to do. And as you saw earlier, it only takes a minute or two to transform it. Just take a quick look at the GP7 Spider Machine, and it's not perfectly in scale with the Tiny Spider-Man. The Tiny Spider-Man is a little bit too big for this to be perfectly in scale, but for me, it is close enough. I do realize that for some people, maybe not so much, but I do want to have a look at this thing here, because it's basically a Tomica or a Hot Wheels car. It's like the rubberized wheels, the mostly metal body, and when I say it's similar to a Hot Wheels car, I mean it's literally similar to this Hot Wheels car, which was released in the US just fairly recently, and then came out in Japan on October 30th. And as you can see, they are very, very similar. There are some changes, of course. There's chrome on the Hot Wheels version. The cockpit, I guess, I don't know, cars is a little bit different. There's more paint apps here than on this. Did I buy this just to make the Hot Wheels comparison joke? Maybe not. I don't know. I now own 3 Hot Wheels cars. I own this one. I own the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 and the Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. And it's weird because these are like literally the first Hot Wheels I've owned in my life. Okay, weird aside there, but yeah, it is a cool little thing, and it does add to the all-in-one feel that this set has. So I mean, you've got your transforming robot, you've got your Hot Wheels type thing, you got your little mini Spider-Man. What else could you want? Like, what else could be in this set that would make it, so much like a time capsule of being a kid in Japan in the 70s? Well, how about a friggin' SoFB? SoFB, or SoFubi, is short for soft vinyl, which is what these figures are made out of. In Japan in the late 70s and early 80s, the toys were, we had these really nice, metal robots, but also the action figures weren't really all that action figure-y. They were made of soft vinyl, and they usually only had 1 or 2 points of articulation, usually at the elbows. And these are still a thing today. They are still being made for series like Ultraman and Kamen Rider and things like that. But this set included a really, really nice Spider-Man one. In my opinion, it is see the nice chrome on the bracelet there. It's probably the nicest representation of the Toei TV version of Spider-Man that's ever been released. And I say that, owning the Figuarts version, which makes some really weird design choices. The Figuarts version, like, instead of having a painted web pattern, they have just like an indented web pattern that makes it look very, honestly, inaccurate. In my weaker moments, I've considered giving this thing a black bath to get that web pattern more accurate, but why bother? Because we've got this thing, the included SoFB, and it does come with a metal stand, so it helps him stand, because it is a little bit like the weight distribution is a little bit weird with the way that the pose is meant to be. But you're not here for SoFB and Marveler. You're like me, right? You're interested in this thing for the robot. So let's take a look at that robot. Transforming it back from the Marveler is simple, a lot of folding down. Fold down the clips here. Fold down the wings here. Stand it up. Arms go down. Clips go in. Arms go down. Head comes up. And then you pop back on the fists and the crest to get you back to your toy-inspired Leopaldon. But so if you were into having a transforming, toy-accurate Leopaldon, this is for you. But here's where Soul of Chogokin goes just a little bit farther. Those arms are completely replaceable with these arms. They are very simple to remove thanks to the metal attachments. These arms that I'm putting in are almost entirely plastic, which means that they don't have as much weight, and there's no transformation gimmick or anything, which means that they can better hold whatever poses you want to get out of them. And when I say that you can get more poses out of them, that is especially true because of the accessories. There we go. There it is. Fully armored Leopaldon. Sword, shield, everything is all in place. This is like basic, as anyone knows, this is basically like the grandfather of the Power Rangers Megazords. This is where the robots in Super Sentai came from. He's a similar size to the Softbee. And here's where like this whole thing is just like absolute genius, this whole all-in-one pack thing. So here's the stand, okay? You can pop off the Marveler bit, open it up, and there's space inside. There's space inside to house the other versions of the arms. Fit right in there. You can slide out this compartment. In goes the spider machine. Close it up. This bit on the front here. Sword goes there. Bit on the other side. I could edit that out, but I'm not a coward. There's the shield. Little mini Spider-Man. Right in front. And posed and majestic Leopaldon on the top. Beautiful. Simply marvelous. Marvelous. Excellent. So now for the whole Japan retrospective portion of this video. This figure was released in August of 2006, which was just a few months before I moved to Japan in October of 2006, and I was completely unaware of it. I knew of Japanese Spider-Man, but you know, I didn't spend my first few months doing a lot of toy stuff. When I did learn about this, I saw it at a second-hand store, Mandarake, in Fukuoka, in Kyushu, Japan, and it was something like 8,000 yen, and the MSRP was like 10,000 yen, and 10,000 yen at the time was about $85, so 8,000 yen would be 70-ish, 60-ish, 70-ish, and I didn't really know much about Soul of Chogokin at all. So this wasn't really on my radar. Then a friend of mine from an online message board asked me if I could help him get some Soul of Chogokin figures, and he didn't want like the boxes or anything. He just wanted the figures. So he offered to pay me close to MSRP for everything, if I would be okay with opening them, packaging them neatly, and then shipping them without the boxes back to the U.S. So I did that. I picked up a ton of these things for him, and got them all into these boxes. And in doing so, I got to, not play with them, but I got to, to hold them, to feel them, to get a feel for these things, and I was really, really interested. But there were really none that I wanted. There were a few that I thought were really, really cool. Voltes and Combattler were just amazing little like Voltron-esque combiners, and I do remember thinking, Voltes and Combattler have these. Why isn't there a Go Lion? Why isn't there a Go Lion like this? And then years and years later, I finally got one. But these things were really, really, really cool. And as I learned, the story behind them, like the idea for Soul of Chogokin was basically to take these classic toys, not the characters, but these toys, and kind of update them for the adult collector. And I've brought up before that that's dissimilar from the Transformers Masterpiece figures, in that those are bending the laws of physics in order to get a cartoon accurate vehicle to convert into a cartoon accurate robot, when those cartoons were never designed to make physical sense. So I mean, you get these ridiculously amazing like engineering marvels where in 140 steps, Optimus Prime converts from the exact truck that you'd see on the TV to the perfectly shaped robot. That's just it always blows my mind. And people have the nerve to complain about like the backpack is too big, as if you weren't folding bits of like the cab into his feet to get everything into the right shape. But okay, so that's my little rant. These are made to specifically update the toys. So they are the toys that you grew up with, similar size. Some of these similar size. Similar materials, the die cast, but maybe updated to reflect the adults that are a little bit more careful when handling them, and to get just a little bit closer to the original design. And I say stuff like that. The original Chogokin Leopaldon looked like this. You see the launching fists and everything like that, but it didn't have the painted webs. The larger Chogokin one, also no painted webs, but it had the name of the character on it, and that was another thing that a lot of toys at the time did, was got to put the name on there somewhere. So it's just ever so slightly updated for the adult collector, priced at a very reasonable 10,000 yen, which, it's $85. I think that's the same price the SH Figuarts Spider-Man cost. So, yeah, very reasonable. And the size, again, is doable. The box itself is not too big. The figure doesn't take up an entire shelf. I have bought bought Voltron. I got the Ultrazord pieces, and they take up a lot of shelf space, just a lot of shelf space, and they're beautiful. But as anyone who's spent any time in Japan or talked to anybody in Japan knows, space can be at a premium, especially if you're living in the cities. You don't have tons and tons of space to display your toy collection. So this thing, about 7 inches tall, included stand, includes everything you could possibly want for toy Spider-Man, all in one convenient package. And I said at the beginning of this video, I can't say enough good things about it, but I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. So I saw this thing for sale. Every time I went into these secondhand stores, they had at least one, and they were 8,000 yen, 7,000 yen, something like that. And I said to myself, if they ever get down to $50, like $50 is where I am comfortable. Just I didn't know anything about the character. This is even before the episodes were ever subtitled, and there had been a fairly recent DVD set. I think it came out with this, like around the same time as this figure, but that was really, really expensive, and again, no subtitles. So I didn't know anything about the character, but I said I would have paid $50 just to own the thing. And it got, I think 55 is the cheapest I saw it for. Then I left Fukuoka, moved to a different place, and I just kind of forgot about it until I saw this thing at Book Off, and when I bought it, it was sealed, but I found it just sitting on a shelf at Book Off, and it was 20,000 yen. It was double the original MSRP. And this was after the first lockdown, state of emergency thing, when we were thinking like, oh, maybe we're going to go back into another one, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to, this was basically a $200 impulse buy. It was just like, I will buy this thing and it will make me feel a little bit better with everything that's going on. And it did. It really, really did. It's a very nice, very, very nice thing. But about 2 weeks after I bought it, they announced the reissue, which didn't include the Soft B Spider-Man, but did include a replica of the wrist thing. And I was thinking, I was like, oh, crap, I could have saved myself some money if I just waited. And it turns out that the reissue actually had an MSRP of 22,000 yen. So it would have been more expensive and not included this beautiful Soft B thing, which just... This is like the pillars of late 70s, early 80s Japanese, toys. You got your cool transforming robot. You got your metal car that's similar to Hot Wheels, or as they call them, Tomica. Different company, but basically Tomica is Japanese Hot Wheels. And Soft B, it's like a time capsule of everything, and it's small. And it's cute. It's a nice conversation piece to be sure. It feels good in your hands while you're transforming it. It holds poses really well. It also included in the instruction booklet. There's design and like concept art. There's basically a full checklist of all the Spider-Man. Toei Spider-Man stuff that came out, back in the day. It's just it's wonderful. It made me feel good when I bought it, and it made me feel good again now talking to you fine people about it. So that's it. I'm gonna end this video here. Then I'm going to set up my photography studio. I'm gonna take some more pictures of this thing because I'm geeked again just to have this thing in my collection. So thank you all very much. I hope you all have a wonderful, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. Remember, trans rights are human rights. Take care and happy hobbying.